Imagine finding a wheat penny that looks old, worn, and almost ordinary, but then you notice the tiny S beneath the date. Suddenly, you're looking at a coin that collectors have been watching for generations. The 1920 South Lincoln Center isn't one of the most famous wheat pennies because of a spectacular error, but its scarcity and high grades makes it a fascinating and potentially valuable piece of American coinage. Today, let's uncover the history, design, value, and secrets of the 1920 South Lincoln Wheat Center. The year 1920 was a fascinating moment in American history. World War I had ended only 2 years earlier, but the United States was adjusting to a completely different world. The country was entering the beginning of the Roaring Twenties. Automobiles were becoming increasingly common. Radio was beginning to transform communication, and American cities were growing rapidly. At the same time, the country faced economic uncertainty and social changes following the war. During this remarkable period, the San Francisco Mint produced the 1920 South Lincoln Center. Approximately 46.22 million were struck, a much smaller production than the Philadelphia 1920 issue. The coin was made from bronze, approximately 95% copper with tin and zinc, weighed 3.11 grams, measured 19 millimeters, and had a plain edge. Now let's look at the design. The obverse features the famous portrait of Abraham Lincoln, facing right. Above his head is the inscription, "In God We Trust." To the left is Liberty, while the date 1920 appears on the right. Just below the date, the tiny S mint mark identifies this coin as a San Francisco issue. Turn it over, and you'll see the classic wheat reverse. 2 wheat ears frame the inscriptions 1 cent and United States of America, while E pluribus unum appears across the top. This iconic design was created by Victor David Brenner and remained on Lincoln cents until 1958. Now comes the part that makes the 1920s especially interesting. With a mintage of more than 46 million, you might expect plenty of surviving examples in excellent condition. But that's not what happened. NGC notes that many surviving mint state 1920s cents have weak strikes, worn dies, and little remaining red color. The issue is relatively common in lower grades, but truly beautiful mint state examples are much harder to find. NGC, and that difference can have a dramatic effect on value. According to PCGS, circulated examples can range from modest values in lower grades, while higher grade examples bring substantial premiums. PCGS lists the 1920s at approximately 25 to 50 cents in good, $0.50 to $1 in very fine, around $7 to $8 in extremely fine, and $85 and up in mint state, depending on color and grade. But exceptional specimens can go much higher. PCGS records an auction price of $3,120 for an MS64 Brown 1920s, while an extraordinary MS65 red example holds a recorded auction price of $48,875. That tells us something extremely important. The condition of this coin can be more important than a mintage alone. Collectors examine 1920s cents for strong strikes, original surfaces, attractive brown or red-brown coloration, and especially rare full red specimens. They also look for genuine mint errors, such as off-center strikes, clipped planchets, die cracks, die chips, and double die characteristics. However, scratches, corrosion, cleaning, and damage that occurred after the coin left the mint should not be confused with valuable mint errors. If you find a 1920s, don't clean it. Cleaning can permanently damage the original surface and destroy much of its collector appeal. Instead, examine the date and mint mark carefully, check the wheat reverse, and look at the overall condition. If your coin has unusually sharp details and beautiful original color, professional grading from a recognized service can make a major difference. The 1920 South Lincoln Wheat Center is a perfect example of why coin collecting is about much more than simply finding an old date. It connects us to America at the beginning of the Roaring Twenties, carries the historic Lincoln and wheat designs, and shows how a coin with millions struck can become extremely difficult to find in exceptional condition. So the next time you see a 1920s penny, don't judge it by its worn appearance alone. That tiniest could be the beginning of a much bigger story, and the quality hiding on its surfaces could determine whether you're holding an ordinary old penny or a truly remarkable Lincoln cent.